My dear seekers of the psyche, welcome back to the laboratory of the soul. If you have walked with us through the dense shadows and suffocating chaos of the Nigredo, where everything you knew was decomposed, putrefied, and reduced to the blackest of blacks, then you have survived symbolic death. Breathe, for now on the horizon of your consciousness, a pale, cold, but infinitely welcome light appears. We are entering the Albedo. In alchemy, after matter rots, it must be washed. Darkness does not simply disappear, it is illuminated. Jung taught us that we cannot reach the light without first having made the darkness conscious. And here, in this stage, the aurora consurgens, the rising dawn, manifests itself. It is the moment when the chaos of depression, confusion, and loss of meaning begins to settle, revealing shapes, contours, and a new clarity. It is not the hot sun of noon, it is the light of the moon. It is silver. It is the relief of the survivor. If you feel that the storm has passed, but the world still seems silent and pale, you are here. And it is exactly here that the true work of discernment begins. Before we proceed with this washing of the soul, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Our journey toward wholeness demands constant companions. Leave your like as a sign that you are ready for purification. The central operation of Albedo is the ablucio, or the washing. Imagine the ashes that remain from the burning in the previous phase. They are dirty, mixed, impure. The ablucio is the baptism of the soul. Psychologically, this represents the moment when, after a major crisis, we begin to wash away heavy emotions. Tears flow, no longer from despair, but from cleansing. The alchemical water here is not common water. It is the aqua permanens, the water that does not wet hands but dissolves the hardened ego. Jung saw this as the objectification of complexes. You are no longer your sadness, you observe your sadness. The ashes of your traumatic past are washed until they become white. It is the purification of intentions. You stop acting out of compulsion, as in the Nigredo, and start acting out of reflection. It is a stage of recovered innocence, a tabula rasa, where the psyche prepares to be rewritten, but now, with consciousness. Why silver? Why the moon? In alchemical symbology, Albedo is the realm of the moon. The sun, the gold, will come later. The moon has no light of its own. It reflects the light of the sun. This is crucial for understanding our psychology at this stage. Albedo is a state of reflection, not direct action. It is the moment to look inside, to mirror the divine, to contemplate. The heavy lead of the Nigredo has been transmuted into bright silver. Silver is noble, it is conductive, it is valuable, but it tarnishes if exposed to impure air. So is our mind at this stage, brilliant, receptive, but vulnerable. The lunar consciousness is intuitive, linked to rhythms, dreams, and the imaginary. It is here that we begin to value being instead of doing. Silver invites us to be clean mirrors of reality, without the distortions of our previous neurotic projections. With the purification of Albedo, a central figure emerges from the waters of the unconscious, the anima in men or the animus in women. In the Nigredo, these figures were shadowy, perhaps tormenting witches or demons. Now, washed and dressed in white, they become guides, the Sora Mystica, the mystical sister. Jung emphasized that Albedo is the stage where a man discovers his inner feminine soul and a woman her masculine spirit, but in an elevated, celestial form. It is the encounter with the white woman of alchemy. She brings wisdom, inspiration, and a connection to the divine. The relationship with the unconscious ceases to be a battle and becomes a courteous dialogue, a dance of silver. If you have been having dreams of luminous figures, calm waters, wise men or women dressed in white, your psyche is telling you that integration is happening. The great achievement of Albedo is distinction. In darkness, all cats are gray. We cannot distinguish the ego from the shadow, the self from the other. Everything was a confused mass, the massa confusa. The white light of Albedo brings discernment. Now you know, this is me, that is my father complex. This is what I want, that is what society imposed. The separation of elements is vital. It is mental clarity, the sharp intellect that cuts through illusion. Jung called this withdrawing projections. You stop blaming the world and recognize the origin of problems within yourself, but without the toxic guilt of the Nigredo. It is a cold, surgical, and liberating analysis. If this content is bringing clarity to you, share this video. There are many people trapped in confusion who need this silver light. However, my friends, beware. Albedo has its own trap, subtle and dangerous. Jung warned about the inflation of the ego. Upon feeling purified, upon seeing the light, upon washing the ashes, the individual can fall into the error of believing themselves holy, perfect, or enlightened. It is spiritual hubris. Since everything is white, pure, and ideal, the ego identifies with this purity and denies that it still possesses a body, instincts, and blood. It is the temptation to live only in the spirit, rejecting matter. Many mystics and idealists get stuck here, becoming ascetics who hate the world, living in an ivory tower of abstraction. Albedo must be a phase, not an eternal refuge. Do not let yourself be blinded by whiteness. You wash the clothes, but there is still a body underneath them. There is a peculiar melancholy in Albedo. It is not the black despair of the Nigredo, but a certain static apathy. The alchemist spoke of white ashes. Everything is clean, but it is dead. Life in Albedo can seem a bit sterile, bloodless. It is the world of pure ideas, of geometric perfection, but it lacks the warmth of passion. It lacks the red of life which will come in the Rubedo. Psychologically, you may feel at peace, but disconnected from earthly vitality. It is a state of abstraction. It is necessary to accept this period of silent incubation. It is like winter. The landscape is covered in snow, white and silent. It seems dead, but life is preserved in the roots, waiting for spring. Do not force passion now. Allow yourself to be in this state of crystalline suspension. The ultimate symbol of this stage is the mirror. The mind, purified of its prejudices and pains, becomes capable of reflecting universal truth. Jung spoke about the psyche's capacity to become objective. When you reach Albedo, you manage to look at your own life as if it were someone else's life with compassion and understanding, but without dramatic attachment. It is the development of the witness. You watch thoughts pass like clouds in the sky, without becoming the storm. This reflective capacity is the basis of all philosophical and psychological wisdom. It is the polished silver that does not distort the image. Ask yourself, is your internal mirror clean, or is it still stained by the soot of the past? Albedo is wonderful, but it is incomplete. It is soul without body, light without heat, form without vital substance. Alchemy tells us that the great work does not end in white. The Red King and the White Queen need to marry. The purity acquired here must eventually descend back to earth and incarnate. Albedo is the preparation for the sacred marriage, the mysterium coniunctionis. If we stop here, we become idealistic ghosts. But we need this purity so that when the passion returns in the Rubedo, it does not destroy us. Albedo is the training, the discipline, the structuring of an ego strong enough to withstand the divine fire that will come next. How do you know if you are in Albedo today? When you prefer reading to noise, reflection to impulsiveness, when you seek to simplify your life, minimalism is very Albedo. When you feel a deep need for cleanliness, organization, and clarity in your relationships, it is the time to study, to meditate, to write in journals. It is the time to forgive yourself and others, for forgiveness is the water that washes the ashes. Live this stage with reverence. Let the moonlight guide your steps. Do not rush for the red sunrise. Enjoy the silver piece. Integration is happening. And remember, alchemy is a cycle. If you are here, you have conquered the darkness. Honor your journey. Comment below, I am the mirror, if you are seeking this clarity in your life. Do not forget to subscribe for when we enter the final fire of the Rubedo. Until the next transmutation.